are going to have the pretty much the same drop zones for most of the teams of where they're comfortable in going. I said that Granite Gaming, they're actually taking that far west path, just due west of the hospital, which is kind of interesting. We don't really see them hang around this west side very much.
No, like we said in the preview, they do like to drop towards Gatka, and right now they're contested. I feel like by Rehne in that place, and I think they know that as well, but they just go further west instead.
What did we just see here?
We saw.
Is that an accident, or is that a murder or manslaughter?
No, I mean we saw someone get
it's a good choke
well.
to use. But obviously you could get pushed from the island itself and find yourself sort of sandwiched, which could become iffy.
Yeah, it's all about how the zone wants to shift. What they could have done is, for example, do like a 2-2 split. You have two people in the crossroads trying to on the same side so they can help each other, and then you have the people with the best guns like an SLR or something play all the way on top at the antenna. Because then they can just like hammer in, because
that's true.
Teams coming in is going to focus on them.
You get lots of info, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be so easy to just hold and rotate from there.
Moving on though, guys, the rest of Granite Gaming have made the cross. Coming up next, though, Game Free as well. We're going to pass through this gauntlet. And you can see right there, I mean, 3 Danes, 1 Brazilian. They're about to set up. Got 2 players in close proximity. See if we can connect any of these shots. So far, it's not looking as if they're going to be able to actually do anything, really. Very underwhelming. Expecting at least 1 knock. Come on.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, gets 1. That's the intensity he gets knocked off. But simultaneously, Rask on the opposite side on top of the hill, just south of them, picks off Vandal out of Eyeballers. So Eyeballers have lost 2 players so far to this team.
It's really weird because they were so slow to rotate together with the other 2. They had to take a boat from Ferry Pier all the way over and take the compound, and then they got pushed by another team, while their other 2 players were on the west side crossroads, and they are in a really, really good position. So
look at that kill feed again, RDL, however. Hackpolitis and Tempest in a very brutal close-range fight. Hackpolitis have got 1 man finished off plus 1 man knocked. Tempest also losing 1. Clip currently coming in on the left flank, though. Are they ready for this? Looks as if they're going to try to actually break contact, if possible. Is Clip going to allow them, though? He's moving up forward, grenade in hand. He's going to try to cook this one off a little bit. Let's see if he can actually make this one happen or not. If he could take down Hackpolitas early, that would obviously be a really good pickoff for them. Help further push Tempest further forward. But still, as he was waiting for this one, man. And actually, really good read from him.
Yeah, I mean, the other ones, he's actually doing a great job with them, focusing on him. I mean, they see that it's only him there now, and the other ones has to like swim, because they drove their boat up on the shore, so they have nowhere else to go than swim in the rotation. So it's going to be really hard to get out of that east side. I mean, now we just have to wait and see what's going to happen in terms of the zone.
Clueless on top of this hill, losing 1, but they do respond. Easy Skier once again. Losing 1 player relatively early. Haven't really seen any sort of big waves coming out of these guys for the last 2 seasons. Individually, just goes up and down, up and down.
No, yeah, I completely agree. It shows character when you can stay consistent.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, let's see here now. Who is going to overcome who? Granite Gaming right around to run into Smiley Face, and these guys, like we saw there in the previous game, I mean, they really had a high kill game. 12 in total. Would obviously love to see if they could have a repeat of that one. Oh, Molman going to take these first shots. So it's as if Kluba does narrowly survive. They're 1 shot away from getting knocked down, but now they know that Smiley are in this general area, or at least that there's a team. Question is, though, with the split that Granite have got going, they're not really in a position to support each other very effectively. If it is so that one gets knocked on the opposite side or potentially in the open, Beamy nearly getting the knock on another one. Yeah, White is isolated here over towards the missile side. Oh, that's a really big one. I don't know why he split all the way forward there.
It's such a wide peak, so I mean, sure, take a peek, you might get knocked, that's fine, but you need to be able to crawl away and
okay, never mind. The nameplate there must have been wrong, because it said Twite got knocked, but he's here. The team's crossing over.
Yeah, and there's so many teams still outside the zone as well that's trying to go for a late rotation. Like, they're just now coming in when the zone is breached. And I mean, it's going to be such a hard fight now for the teams in the middle there, because there is some kind of debris and things that you can actually fight for. But yeah, is just going to hear Meteor Makers go over. He gets 1. Can he actually finish off the second one? Yeah, he does. Oh, that's a great shot. Yeah, now the two people are stuck outside the zone, and what are you gonna do now, my friends?
I mean, if they manage to make a crossing somehow, they're gonna burn through so many medical supplies. Yeah, wow, G-Tona single-handedly might have just killed off Clueless. Or Meteor Makers, pardon me.
Yeah, and I like this decision that he doesn't stay, even though it doesn't take that hard, and he might have the healing. He needs to get in now, and yeah, there's so many teams that are on this. Steelers again with the spray, so good.
Yeah, and this is Isisky, right, who were holding up on that bridge a little bit earlier. Looks as if at least Flashlight might be able to get out of that one, but G-Tona, he's so far separated. He's going to be coming in on a very delayed push, so he could certainly have that unfortunate run-in. Snake Eagles does finally get finished off there. Simultaneously, Meteor Makers do indeed meet their makers at the hands of Who Are You? Flowy getting run over there. Desp also falling to Game Frame and Eyeballers down to only one man at this point.
Yeah, still inside the zone though, but it's gonna be so hard for them to rotate in the next one. Yeah, Clueless actually got in on the west.
You know, I'm looking at Hakipolita's spot, right? Right over towards the east side of this zone. And they're still in a position where they can get into play easily. The big shift for them would be if it goes southwest. Then I can see that they might have a bit of a hard time rotating, especially so with what seems to be a very limited number of vehicles, right?
Yeah, it all depends on how much of military bases then is still in, because they might have something to play with the cars, like you say, but if military base is still in and they can get shot from the side, that's going to be a problem. But if military base goes out quite a lot, and then you can all the information when you rotate in. Oh, he's actually surviving.
He has to go down there. Needs some dirt, but he does indeed survive. Car on fire. But now you can see that Granite, who had that earlier position where they were forcing Smiley Face off, they are now going to be the ones that Hakipolitas might potentially have to contend with. And making the rotation down towards the south, that's going to be a really tough break, because that terrain does not really favor you driving up that hill. It's going to be really hard with that rotation for them, I find.
Oh, for sure. And this is what Ends, I was just about to say, needs to do. They need to be so proactive, because they've decided they've taken this like scrapyard of planes, and it's a really good position. You have a lot of places to hide, but it's bang in the middle, which means that you're gonna have 360 people looking at you. So you need to be active. You need to shoot at everything and knock people. They need to be afraid of you. And if you just sit there and just side of that scrapyard, as I like planes. Plain cemetery.
Boneyard. Yeah. Aircraft boneyard.
Yeah.
There's this, I think it's like in Afghanistan that they have this one lined up. Oh, sorry, not Afghanistan, in the Arizona desert in the United States. Where they just have hundreds and hundreds upon aircraft from all of these past conflicts. Super awesome. Would love to visit it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, all the historic figures is so interesting to see how it was like before, because it's so hard to imagine.
Right. Yeah, like analog aircraft without autopilot function and stuff. Like, damn. Especially on those long-haul voyages. But in this game, anyway, Tempest still in it. Remember that they had a really, really good first week so far, though. Hasn't been as solid. But we're only in the second game. So if they can swing back a little bit, see if Pixel can work his magic. Because last week, remember, on his own, he managed to rack up. I think he had a game where he had, like, finding a ton of damage. Now, obviously, he's all alone, which isn't great. They had that really rough start with Boys and Hakipolitas. Now, as things are really starting to shrink, you can see that space is very limited, and many of these teams that were sort of loitering out over towards the far ends of the zone, they're just simply not going to be able to make it. They're not allowed to make it into the zone. Clubber immediately puts down Flashlight, but Silas does pick him up, so that's Hakipolitas again, netting another point for them. A little bit cheeky there, and all the more annoying here for Granite, who definitely need as many points as they can, muster.
Yeah, I mean, both, I think it's Rehab Bros and 3 Danes, 1 Brazilian. On foot, that is. Like, it's going to be, this is going to be such a cluster.
Who Are You? Victors over game number 1. Do fall out in 15th place. What do we feel about that one? What did that come down to? Was that just because of how messy all of this was?
Yeah, it's just so hard to find a footing here, and it's a bit like, oh yeah, he needs. Oh, that's great from Felix. He needs to hold his position because he can actually move into the zone as well from there. But he gets one more, but none more. He gets a point though. So I mean,
yeah, but he was the last player for Eyeballers, and like they took a beating from all the teams coming in on that western bridge.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, that's a really tough position to try and recover from.
Yeah, but we're just gonna have a rinse and repeat on this position because that's like the only position with somewhere to hide as well. So it's gonna be 3 teams contesting for it with ends and like 3 Danes, 1 Brazilian just shooting at them coming in. So it's gonna be so hard. This is a gauntlet, if anything.
It certainly is. Rehina E-Game Stars as well, sort of trapped. Gyptic trying to do what he can. Currently connecting a handful of shots, actually knocks Tower. That's a really nice one to drop. But armor very low, you can see right there, it's in the red. Forced to heal up. Misa and Anonymous, a bit disconnected from this one, but he is on the opposite side of the road to match there with the opposite Finnish team. See if he can connect some of these rounds, but no, forced down to the ground as well. So pressure right now being applied quite heavily, even though YMCA sort of got the short end of that initial engagement. It looks as if, again, just through raw manpower, they're going to be able to power on through. Especially so that they've been able to pick up the team members who got knocked there earlier on. Coyote is just going to push this one forward. That's going to be 1 man down. Gypsy does go down to zone, leaving Missa all alone now. And I don't think he's going to be long for this world. No, YMCA do clean them up, and that means E-Game Stars go out in 13th place to follow.
Yeah.
Clueless also very quickly there. Rip had survived for quite some time, but yeah, does bleed out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, I'm guessing that YMC is going to go out in 11th as well. I mean, I do not see how they're going to get in here safely. They're going to get shot by everyone
Finns here to the south, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting shot by 2 other Finnish teams, and it's just not going to happen. They have nothing to cover. They have no smokes left to throw. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, that's the quick follow-through.
And the funny part is, because all of this fighting has happened, Ens didn't watch the west side, which made it so that Pixel actually got into like this small edge line where he can just crawl himself into the zone.
How many kills do you think he's going to be able to grab now as the last remaining player here for Tempest?
Seeing as I think that Game Frame actually spotted him, maybe 1.
Maybe 1. Okay, that would be. Would you say that's being generous, or is that just like a?
No, I mean he's gonna have He's gonna have to try and move in. I'm not sure how many smokes he has to actually move in towards, because he has a plane that's inside that he can actually try to zig
towards the northeast. Oh, sorry, Game Frame southwest. And I think there's like 3 in total, and they've all been taken unoccupied. Yeah. Finally, there, Pixel does go down that spoof, and like you pointed out, Game Frame, they did probably spot him, as you said.
Yeah, I like the fact that Hakepolitas, they waited before they rotated in. So now Rehab Bros has actually rotated in where they want to go. Oh, but yeah, because they waited for it, the Rehab Bros started to fight with 3 Danes before they had rotated in, so which gave them an opportunity to have a better fight. Right. So great decision making from them to actually hold off for a second. They have to Ens now has to push into Game Frame, and Spoof is here in a great flank, and I believe that or Sims even gets Rust on Mars, so it's going to be so hard for them to actually get themselves in. They need to find a knock on Game Frame early now before they push in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they actually do have any grenades. At the same time, even Hakepolitas might be able to potentially angle towards him. Squeaky does go down, however, so Game Frame in a really good spot right now. Ents are going to be the ones who are going to be feeling the pressure. Roopsy even manages to finish him off. Simultaneously, though, Silas gets the knock on Clubber Deluxe, and they still have the full squad around. But potentially not for long. As you can see Mage Bane from the previous game coming in there. He immediately finishes Wes off as well. So the Swedes there finding themselves in a really tough spot, but you know, for the Norwegians in Game Frame, they're definitely feeling good right now. They've got 3 players left. They've been peeling off players left and right. They even get the knockout on He-Man and Simsy with a great K98 shot. Yeah, you're feeling sharp right now.
Yeah, he's been on fire. He's just picking people off left, right, and the center. And I mean, they need to do this. I mean, they're the only team on the west side who's in the zone. So I mean, yeah, they just need to keep on going. Skuya actually finds him.
Yeah, that's a big problem, because I think that's enough to take down his vest. Unless there was a headshot, but he doesn't have a helmet. His vest is very low. So through the logistics, I mean, they would love to get that drop and a full level 3 set of armor.
Yeah, I mean, Spoof is just trying to find Diggory here, and they just want to clear Ens out fast so he can actually push into the zone, but Diggory actually finds him.
Look at this, though, in the back lines. He says, "QG Tona, he's still here, guys. Remember me," he says. Oh, you do now. Oh, okay, never mind then. That ended very quickly.
Yeah, Yellow has been running around outside the zone for like the last 5 minutes trying to find him, and yeah, he still managed to find a knock, but it was inside the zone, so they will survive. They will get the rest, so they're actually in a great position right now for this zone.
On the claimed care package. This was the one that was next to Granite. But Wear Team definitely stopping them from moving forward any further. Hackapalitas looking to be down to just the one player. No, they've got 2 remaining. Game Frey firmly in the lead, though, with 10 kills and 3 players left alive. They will have to contend with Smiley Face, who also have 3. Granite down to only 2. Wear Team there at the very bottom with 0 kills, but half the team standing as well.
Oh, that's a great zone for Hackapalitas. So I mean, they still have like a rigid, I think, to hide.
Last game was obviously very good, so yeah, knocking him down the block, that's going to be a good start here. Obviously to take down pressure as well from Granite in their position, because I think they feel that there's a good chance, you know, that they might get outflanked here.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the Mage Bane actually goes down, but yeah, both Beam and Yellow is inside the zone, so they're just trying to find that knock. And I mean, Wear Team is just sitting still. They're just waiting for something to happen before they actually pounce. Rubsy actually finds Patrick as well on that flank. It's so important, which makes it so that they get that plane on the southern side. So they have a really great position now in this zone.
Game Free up to 11 kills as well. This is a very good performance from them so far. And I think this is kind of what we were waiting for. Week 1 wasn't really up there for them, but here for game number 2, they're definitely bringing it to the table. Still have 5 teams left. Big exchange of grenades. Oh, it bounces perfectly. Beamy goes down, which means that only Yellow is going to be left here as the fighting man, and he's going to be locked in potentially 1 versus 2. Granite Gaming still in a position where they could anticipate him. Yeah, Beamy actually gets one confirmed right then and there. With only 8 players left alive, I mean, there's not much time remaining of the second game, guys. You can see that Samrak, you might have seen that grenade actually come on through. Knows he's very, very close right now. Yellow just on the opposite side of that smoke. And remember, he still has Twite with him there to potentially go for that trade. He should spot him right now. Oh, they tried to go for it. Samrak is going to win that duel finally as Smiley Face go down. 4 kills now in total for Granite.
Yeah, now he just needs to heal up fast, and then they need to straight up check on their east side, west side, I mean, because both Wear Team and Game Frame is actually starting to fight. They find Siller, so he goes down in 5th. Can actually, Sim.
Oh,
so he finds both Sims.
Oh, it's so messy. Game Free do fall out at the end, though. That Samrak to come in and steal that right towards the end. Suffy's knocked. Remember, that's why so low on HP. Is this Granite's chance?
I mean, they just need to go for it. They know that there's only one person left, and they know how damage this is. So just, yeah, they finish off that last person, and now he finds the second one. Yeah, that's great.
There it is.
Great gameplay. Great chill from them in